Hello, everybody. How you guys doing today? Pray you doing well. I sure do. And welcome to the Voice of the Martyr. Uh, this episode is called The Secret Printing Press. Let us begin, shall we? China, 1889. In the fast coming darkness, with our faces masked and our head bowed, we silently follow our guide down the winding track, cut the mountain gullies, pressing on toward the shallows river we had crossed early that day. As we reached a junction, our progress was stopped by a sudden appearance of motorized three-wheeled cart, with the back completely covered with canvas. Quickly and quietly, we climbed into the cart, and with the engine working furiously, drove up the rough and narrow track. This was our transportation to the secret printing press. The engine roared and hissed, and the car jerked, and the heave of the vehicle clawed its way over the rock and boulders. We went ever higher, ever deeper into the mountain, winding across the gorge and gullies, with no more than 12 inches to spare in our either side. A slide there, and we would have crashed down 100 feet or more. Okay, one second. It was rapidly getting dark, just as the step grade for the track seems about to defeat the struggling engine. We peer with concentration through a small tear in the canvas, as several figures appear at the roadside. The figure grabbed the back of the cart and began to push, with the engine straining and the strangers pushing while we remained hidden inside. The steepest part of the track was conquered, and the man and machine stood, panting at journey's end. Out of the darkness, other figures emerged to guide the drivers as they backed the cart into the narrow opening. Then, at a given signal, we climbed out of the cart. We were led to a dark stone archway, across an enclosed country yard, to a dimly lit doorway, and into a small room. This was room of a Christian family in a tiny village, isolated high in the mountain. A cup of ice hot tea were awaiting us. A few minutes passed, and our guide indicated we should follow him. He took us into the neighborhood cave where the room was divided with curtains. They took us behind the curtains, where we found the first sign of what we were looking for. A row after a row of cases of Chinese type. Thousands of Chinese characters waiting to be set into pages and made ready for printing. The Chinese are credited with the invention of movable type many centuries ago, and we might have stepped back into the past as we gaze at this primitive composing room. Then, in the flickering light, we caught sight of a small opening in the wall about 30 inches high. A dim light was shining inside the hole in the wall. It was a small tunnel leading into the mountain. Was this where we had to go? The question was soon answered when our guide crawled into the opening and motioned for us to follow. We shuffled along on our bunches. Then, as the wolf began to press upon us, we crawled up on our hands and knees until we emerged to a small, totally enclosed room lit with a single light bulb, dangling with ceiling. A couple of Chinese Christians were waiting for us, and to one side of the room was, was what we had made all this effort to see, an old-fashioned but newly manufactured printing machine. It was an amazing sight to find this machine in perfect condition, buried here in the depth of the earth. We realized what it was to be in this hollow place. We were standing with dedicated Christians who were risking their lives to provide spiritual literature for their countrymen. We could appreciate the enormous risk, the certain imprisonment and possible death that would result if authorities in this atheistic communist nation. Yeah, you can drink it. Mary had a baby on his belly when he was like me. Okay. Can I finish this? Okay. Drink it. If authorities in this atheistic communist nation were to discover them, we would imagine the incredible logistic in the supply of papers and ink to transport the finished product of maintaining absolute secrecy. We could understand the original routines to show us this place, as well as the organization and courage it had taken to bring us there. Standing in the boat, huh? Okay. Standing in the bowl of the earth, we were among the only people in the world to know the detail of this operation. And this is how it must remain. Nobody must know how to, nobody must know how or where. People can only know our brave Chinese brothers and sisters are doing their special work for God. And we must be encouraged to support them and pray for them. Mauve Knight has been serving the persecuted for more. Merv Knight has been serving the persecuted for more than 50 years. A Von board member, emeritus, and co-founder of the Voice of the Martyrs. Oshora is also the one boy historian. This is written by Martin Merv Knight, by the way. Anyway, so what do you guys take? What's your take on this? Sebastian, stop. You guys take on this? And you go to all this for God. Those people, or the journalists, to go to all this so you can start putting more for God. So you can start putting the Bible for God. And you go to all that. Nowadays, especially here in the West, especially in the US, to start complaining because things are not exactly going to our favor as a Christian. That's nothing. Christians have been having a rough for the longest. Even nowadays, especially nowadays, in other countries we have it rough. Here in the US, it's just getting started. And this time we get up as a Christian is enough before we get to point, which it will no matter what. But we must start getting care for our belief, guys. Are you prepared for that? To go to all this for God? Ask yourself that question. All right? All right. See you guys tomorrow.